Go for it, Chief.
So I got my football reference open right here, and it's on a topic of discussion that's been going around lately, and it's just a simple debate on whether or not Julian Edelman is a Hall of Famer, right? Because people have been talking. The guy's been in the league since 2009. So in terms of a lifespan of an NFL wide receiver, he's on the back end of his career. I think that should go without saying. And the topic of the debate is whether or not simply Julian Edelman is a Hall of Famer either right now or if he will be in the future once his career ends. But as of right now, I can't put him in, to be honest.
Okay, look, first of all, you should tell the people the reason we're discussing this. The reason we're discussing this is because he's the Super Bowl MVP.
Right.
He's the reigning Super Bowl MVP. He's a 3-time champion. All those times, think about this. Rob Gronkowski is their biggest player, their best receiver.
Sure.
He always gets hurt. So whenever he gets hurt, Julian Edelman is the guy they trust.
And did Julian Edelman play against the Eagles last year?
No, he was injured.
No, exactly.
He was injured. He was injured in that game.
Okay, so
that's why they lost.
So you have.
You want to blame Malcolm Butler for the loss? I'll blame him.
So you're gonna play how valuable of a player he is.
He's a very valuable member of that team.
Crunch time.
He's a valuable member of that team. He has 3 Super Bowls. He's averaging 113 yards per game in the 3 Super Bowls they won with him.
Right.
113. Super Bowl 51, he had that crazy catch against Atlanta. He doesn't make that catch, they don't pull up that comeback.
So you think that the way he plays in the postseason trumps anything he's done in the regular season?
Welcome to 2019. Postseasons matter. It's about rings. It's about what you do in the playoffs. Regular season, nice, great. But it's 2019.
Right.
People care about the rings, and they care about what you do in the postseason. And over the last 5 years or so, he is one of the most consistent postseason players on the most consistent postseason team. So, I mean, there really isn't much of a debate. Now, people will say, oh, he got suspended for a PED violation. You're right, he did.
But in the modern day NFL, compared to PEDs, compared to baseball, if you do PEDs, it's over. But in football, it's kind of a different.
I mean, I almost forgot about that he was suspended. Right. I almost forgot he was suspended.
It's almost a different, it's more brushed under the carpet, in football.
I would say it's brushed under the carpet, but it's not out there.
Black
guys get suspended.
Right, and there's a lot of them, but it's 4-year suspension, you serve it, whatever. But
yeah, he served it, and look what they were without him. They were nothing without him. They were mediocre. They were 2-2.
An instance in which a NFL player who uses PEDs was detrimental towards the rest of his career.
But it was detrimental this season. Mm-hmm. They lost to Detroit. They lost to Detroit without him.
Right.
And look what they did with him. Once they got into the playoffs, they had him. He was money. The dude was money. Gronkowski barely showed up except for the AFC Championship game at the end of the game when Romo's calling all his plays.
Right.
That's the only time he ever showed up in the playoffs. Edelman was there. He was getting third downs. He was getting down the field. He was their clutchest receiver. He is the guy that they trust on third down and whatever. He's their guy.
Okay. So, let me take a look at. Unfortunately, it looks like Football Reference doesn't list the contracts, but I'm just curious as to.
What does it matter in his contract?
Just to see how long he's under contract for. I mean, how much longer is he going to play? Is he going to play for another 5 years? He's 32 right now.
Well, maybe he'll leave when Brady retires.
He actually turned 33 the day after my birthday.
Okay, so
comfortably, he probably has, conservatively, I'd say 3 more years left. Same with Brady.
Yeah, he's a receiver, so 2-3 more years.
Go out with Brady.
Yeah.
Probably get another ring before then.
He probably will get another ring. He's a machine.
But I'm just looking at it right now because I have the postseason numbers and I have his regular season numbers, and he was obviously out the entire 2017 season.
Yeah, because he tore his ACL.
But that shouldn't factor into Hall of Fame discussion.
What do you mean it shouldn't?
if you miss a year due to injury, I don't think
It's a torn ACL.
right.
That's a big deal.
Right, it shouldn't.
You're gonna tell me. Wait a minute. You're gonna tell me Adrian Peterson. Adrian Peterson tore his ACL. They thought he was done. He was on the Redskins last year. Right. He had a great season.
I think it's,
Adrian Peterson's a Hall of Famer.
I think more looking at it, it's how they bounce back from the injury, rather than the fact that they missed one whole season. It's how they bounce back, and he
bounced back pretty well.
He had,
I watched. We watched 3 playoff games together, and he bounced back, and he was the guy.
He had 74 catches for 850 yards this year, 6 touchdowns.
That's pretty good.
That's pretty solid.
Yeah, on an offense where they spread the ball like to running backs.
Everybody touches the ball on that team.
Big game Jim White.
Big game Jim White.
We're gonna establish that as a thing. Once we get an audience, we're gonna establish that as a thing.
James White is he actually had a quiet Super Bowl. Actually, surprisingly,
by his standards,
but he's a playoff monster.
Everybody had a quiet Super Bowl, except SpongeBob.
The thing that I look at here with Edelman is that from 2009 to 2012, he wasn't really much of a factor in the offense.
That's because they had Rob Gronkowski and Aaron Hernandez.
Right. Between 2010 and 2012, he only had 32 receptions.
They had Rob Gronkowski and Aaron Hernandez. They had 2 of the best tight ends in the league.
He's only cracked 1,000 yards twice.
Okay.
He has 30 career touchdowns in 115 games.
I could just say Gronk was their red zone option. And their tight ends and their running backs are usually who they go to in the end zone. They're not a traditional offensive team. They don't run a traditional offense where they have a clear number one. Their clear number one's a tight end. There's like nobody in the league that does that anymore.
If he's healthy.
Okay, if he's healthy, but the Patriots don't run a traditional offense.
But I think if we're being honest here, his regular season, if he was never in the postseason,
then he's not.
Then he's clearly
but you have to
far from the realm.
Yeah, but he's a 3-time.
He's got 3 rings
on
one of the most prolific postseason teams in any of the 4 major sports.
Yeah, in any sport. Don't just go 4 major in anything.
But you can see both sides of the argument. In 2015, he only played in 9 games, but he still racked in 7 touchdowns. So the numbers, they're hit and miss.
You making my case?
Well, I'm saying as of right now, it's very close, but
it's not very close.
It's very close to me as of right now, but in 3 or 4 years when he retires,
he's gonna be in.
I'm sure I'll have a much different opinion than I do.
He's in right now. I have him in right now.
If he retired right now, it's so close.
It's a 3-time champion.
It will be definitely split amongst the voters.
It would be split, but if I had a vote, I'd have him in. I'd have him in for sure.
His catch rate is phenomenal. You know, he is the guy that gets targeted.
Exactly. He's the 3rd down guy. He's their 3rd down guy.
But the thing is that he fits that mold of that offense so perfectly because Brady, over the years, Brady doesn't chuck it down the field anymore. He's not really a long ball guy.
No, he's not.
Edelman's a guy that kind of like, he's in the flat, he runs these out routes, and he's good at slants, out routes, he's scrappy. But it's right now for me, he's right on the fence. You know,
he's over the fence.
It's all about who you ask.
He's over my fence.
The statistics that you bring forward to the argument.
There's a 10-foot high fence that I have. He's over it.
Right.
He's over my fence.
But like I said, he has another 4 years and.
But no, we're talking about right now today as we are recording this. 11:10 p.m.
Right
it is Valentine's Day 2019 as we're recording this. We're talking right here, right now. It's not 3 years, not 4 years. It's right now at this moment.
I'm curious as to what the people think. If you put a poll out and you polled 1,000 NFL fans like us, casual NFL fans, maybe hardcore NFL fans, if you polled 1,000 of those, how many do you think would say yes?
I would say every Patriots fan.
Well, yeah.
I would say every Patriots fan for sure.
It's hard to disagree with that.
I'd say there might be a good amount of people. Well, there's a lot of Patriots hate out there, so that would be a very skewed poll. I'd be
True,
very skewed. You'd have to go
amongst honest voters.
Well, that would be like experts. You'd have to go like NFL Network. You'd have to go ESPN. You'd have to put all those people. You can't do fans. You can't do fans. You have to pick the right fans. You have to pick the right fans. You can't do fans. You can't do that. Because no casual fan likes the Patriots, so that's a skewed poll.
So you've already eliminated potential suitors.
That's a skewed poll.
But you'd have to, in a random sample of 1,000 fans, I'd say it would be close to 500 if I'm.
You're saying close to 50-50?
Probably close to 50-50.
All right. Whatever.
Probably like 500 to 650 would say that he's a Hall of Famer.
500 to 650. Well, hello, here's one.
Yeah.
Hello, here is one. But here's one thing that is also up for debate, that is more than anything else. We are recording this on Valentine's Day. The NBA All-Star Game is 72 hours away from now as we are recording this. It is All-Star Weekend, officially. There are no more NBA games, unless you count the celebrity game.
There's no NFL going on. The only thing we got going on right now is NBA.
Yeah,
unless you're a hockey fan, which every year there's less and less of them around.
But the playoffs are awesome.
Right.
The playoffs are usually awesome, but...
Playoff hockey is
But we were talking NBA, it is All-Star Weekend, and obviously the big debate, who's the MVP? There's three main candidates for the MVP right now. There's Giannis Antetokounmpo from the Milwaukee Bucks, and if any of you out there can say his name on first try, you're a liar. Because I barely just said it on...
It's a lot harder to spell. I don't know if I can spell it.
I barely just said it on the first try. There's Giannis Antetokounmpo, he's on the Milwaukee Bucks. They're the best team in the Eastern Conference right now, post-LeBron, mind you. They're the best team in the East right now. He's averaging 27-13 on the best team in the Eastern Conference and one of the best teams in the league. There's James Harden, who has the absurd 30-point game streak. He's at, 31 straight games right now with 30 points or more?
Give or take, yeah. He's definitely
the dude is
in his 30s right now.
The dude's on the level. And then there's Paul George, who, as we're recording this, his team just lost the Oklahoma City Thunder, but you cannot deny what he has done. He just had a 40-point triple-double.
Paul George, MVP or not, the guy is having an outstanding season. A career best season.
Okay, hold on.
Honestly, it's not even close to a prior season that he's had.
You want to talk about Edelman coming back from injury? What about Paul George? Paul George snapped his leg. Snapped his leg. One of the most violent injuries you will ever see. Missed an entire season.
Career in doubt.
Came back. He was on the Pacers for a year. Whole speculation about going to LA. Goes to Oklahoma City. Last year, they get eliminated in the first round. But what does he do? He bet on himself.
Right.
He bet on himself. He re-signed with the Thunder. Everybody thought, oh, Paul George is going to LA. Team up with LeBron.
Well, the Lakers fans think they're getting everybody. But that's...
He bet on himself, Reid. That's the key. Paul George bet on himself, and look what he has done. He has had a huge, huge year.
We all knew Paul George was a great NBA player, but he has taken his game to a whole other level this year.
He's taken it to a whole other...
Defensively, it's not just scoring 30 points a game. You guys getting steals.
He's always been a great defender.
He is very much in the mix for the MVP in the NBA.
And Defensive Player of the Year.
The
dude is a monster. But if you had to vote right here and now, February 14th, right now, the season ended right now, this moment, who's your MVP?
I have to go with Harden.
You'd have to go with Harden?
I mean, what he's doing offensively, day in and day out, it might not be the prettiest form of basketball, running ISO, drawing fouls, but he has perfected the art of his gameplay. He's perfected the art of drawing a foul, and yeah, I admit it's not the greatest form of basketball. It's
fun to watch.
It's fun to watch.
He's fun to watch.
The guy, he's perfected the art of doing what he does. His gameplay.
Changed the game.
Running ISO every play. But the fact that when Chris Paul went out, when Eric Gordon went out,
Clint Capella
is
still out.
Still on the shelf. The Rockets didn't lose a single touch. The Rockets did not lose anything from those injuries, and that was because of James Harden.
Well, yeah, he's carried their team. He's carried their team, but would you say that this could tire out James Harden because
the tread on his tires is wearing thin. But then again, I'm watching it. And
they lost last night.
It is a lot.
Minnesota.
It is a lot.
Borderline playoff team. They lost.
Yeah.
Well, Harden scored 30.
Yeah. But he does run a lot of ISO, and a lot of it is just him dribbling.
He's got over 11,000 dribbles.
It's not like he's running the paint. Like in prior years, he would run the paint a lot. He would run.
Still does.
The key. He
still drives the paint.
But I think he's running ISO more this year than he has in prior years. It seems like
it. Because he knows nobody can guard that.
He's jacking up because he's perfected the art of that step back three.
Yeah, nobody can guard that. He's unguardable.
So,
but you said before we came on live, you said that Giannis is the true valuable player. If you're talking about as most valuable,
if we're taking
he's
it
your
from
guy.
a literal standpoint, as in the most valuable player rather than the best player in the league, I think the Bucks without Giannis are worse off than the Rockets without Harden.
You sure about that?
No, but
they have Chris Paul, they have Clint Capella, two capable All-Star level players.
Who do the Bucks have after
they have
Giannis?
They have Chris Middleton. He's an All-Star this year. Brook Lopez is hitting career high in threes. Lopez!
But they ain't no Chris Paul.
Okay, maybe they're not, but they're still capable players. I think in the Eastern Conference, where you're not having a dogfight every single night, they could probably still make the playoffs.
I think the gap between Giannis and the next best player in the Bucks, is bigger than James Harden and the next best player in the Rockets.
Which is who? Who do you think is the second best player in the Rockets? Chris Paul?
Chris Paul. Or Capella.
They always get hurt. Cris Paul always gets hurt.
Healthy, 100% healthy, Chris Paul. But then again, Chris Paul does get hurt a lot. So,
he just came back from an injury.
At 100% healthy, without injuries, if the injuries weren't in the picture, Chris Paul is definitely...
Okay, well, yeah, he's better than Chris Middleton. Okay, what about Oklahoma City without Paul George?
Well, take a look at the last couple years, I guess.
What, before he got there with Westbrook?
Before he got there, when it was Westbrook running the show the year after KD.
They were the 6th seed in the West.
Right.
Right now, they're the 4 with Paul George. They're the 6th seed in the West, and they lost in 5 games to Harden.
Right.
They lost to Harden in that first round because Russ had to do everything. Russ
was definitely at the end of his line when it came to playoff time because of how much...
He was still having triple-doubles in that series.
How much he was carrying that team.
No, he did not reach the end of the line. He was still having triple-doubles. It's because Patrick Beverley was on him in that series. Patrick Beverley is
a lockdown
defender. Beverley is a guy that always gives Westbrook fits.
He is a lockdown defender.
He was not at the end of his tire. It's that he was on a very, very good defender in that series. He was still dropping triple-doubles. He had a triple-double in game 3, and I want to say game 5, the game they lost the series in. He had a triple-double. But Patrick Beverley was on him the entire time.
Patrick Beverley was lowering that field goal percentage.
Oh, of course he was. Of course he was. But we're not talking about Patrick Beverley. We're talking about right now MVP. So if
who's yours?
If I had a vote right now, I might say George.
Yeah?
I would go George, and I'm going to tell you why. If you hold on, no. If you look at Houston, you could say at the start of the season, they started off slow, and then Harden carried them to this rise. Mm-hmm. Paul George has a ball-dominant player on his team. A dude that drops triple-doubles every single night. What has he got now? 11 in a row? He just got his 11th tonight. 11th in a row. Triple-double.
Yep.
Paul George is still out here scoring 30 to 40 points a night.
Every night.
On a clip. He can do it. But I'm going to tell you why he's the MVP over Harden right now. Because he bet on himself, and Oklahoma City, I feel that right now, because of Paul George, Oklahoma City can give Golden State a run in the playoffs. I think right now, as constructed, Oklahoma City gives the Warriors a better run than the Rockets do. We saw what the Rockets. We saw what the Rockets did last year. Now you could say the Rockets were up 3-2 on them. Chris Paul gets hurt, they lose that series. But if Oklahoma City right now is constructed, they played the Warriors. I think they got a pretty good shot. They beat Golden State earlier in the season.
Because last year, Houston, they had great defensive depth on their bench.
Trevor Ariza.
Luke Mbamute.
That was a hard name for you to say.
Low-key is a solid defender. They lost them. PJ Tucker is still on the team. He's a solid defender. But the fact that they lost Ariza and Mbamute, that was big.
Yeah.
Which led to a lot of low bench depth But now,
But
OKC's got the upper hand defensively with Paul George. Russell's always scrappy. Steven Adams is a monster.
Steven Adams is
Capella's
always
hurt.
Capella's hurt.
So I completely agree with the fact that OKC gives team. Well, they have one of the better defensive ratings in the entire league.
Yeah,
They're up there, right up there with the Celtics.
Yeah.
I can't rattle off the top defensive teams in the league right now.
Yeah, it's late at night.
But I completely agree that the Thunder give the Warriors.
You think they do that
a
without
lot more fits right now?
You think they do that without Paul George? If it's just Russ, exactly. So
Paul George
is a highly valuable piece to that team. He is. You take him off that team, Oklahoma City maybe barely makes the playoffs.
And he's been healthy. He's been very healthy.
Exactly.
And
Russ, remember,
injury,
hold on. Russ Westbrook was out for the beginning of the season.
Yep.
First part of the season, he was out. Thunder were the number 1 seed in the Western Conference without Westbrook. For a while there, they were the number 1 seed in the West without Westbrook.
As of when we're recording this right now, Paul George leads the league in steals right now at 2.3 a clip.
He's probably going to be Defensive Player of the Year. Now, you could say, well, can somebody win MVP and Defensive Player of the Year in the same year?
Sure.
What does that matter? That doesn't matter.
It doesn't matter, but sure, it could happen.
Yeah, exactly. That doesn't matter.
When you got
it doesn't matter at all.
A guy averaging 28.7 points a game and 2.3.
Look, if a guy like Draymond Green was doing what he was doing and he scored like 30 points a game, you don't think he'd be MVP and Defensive Player of the Year?
Oh, absolutely.
Of course he would be. So this idea that he just because he's a great defender and he scores 30 points a game, that shouldn't take away from his MVP. Because yeah, he has Russell Westbrook on his team. Westbrook could take away votes, but you think the voters are going to get tired of Westbrook? He's been he was the runner-up. He was MVP 2 years ago. He was a runner-up another year. Westbrook's dropping all these triple-doubles, sure, but the voters are going to get tired of him. Otherwise, LeBron would have won like 10 straight MVPs. Voters are going to get tired of Westbrook, and they see Paul George. He bet on himself. He's had this career-threatening injury a couple of years ago. He's back now. He's playing well. He's dominating in the West. Well, I mean, they just lost tonight, but he's dominating. He's in the All-Star game on Sunday night. And I think the second half of this season, I think we're really going to find out what this Thunder team is made of. And it's not because of Westbrook and what he's doing, it's because of Paul George. He's the one, if Oklahoma City gets to the Western Conference Finals, gets to a championship, it's going to be because of Paul George, not because of Westbrook. And I love Westbrook, but I have to state the facts. Paul George is the guy. He's the reason that they're even where they are. It's because of Paul George.
Yeah, especially because the way that Westbrook has been shooting the ball this year, which has been terrible. From the line,
I think we could
three.
I think we could shoot a better 3-point percentage than Russ.
What is it like? I'm bringing it up right now, but I think it's like in the 20s.
If we walked into my alleyway right now and there was a hoop, we could probably make more threes than Russ has on average.
Okay, so this season, Russell Westbrook is shooting 41.2% from the field.
That's not good.
He was 44.9 last year.
It's
from
down.
Three, he's shooting 24.4%.
Is that bad?
That's one of the lowest I've seen from a regular starting point guard in quite some time.
So you're saying that's very bad?
It's not good.
Yeah, it's not good at all.
And here's the kicker. Russell Westbrook is shooting 65.1 from the free throw line. His previous career low was last year at 73.7. He's almost 10
still averaging triple-double
points off. Yeah, he's still averaging a monster triple-double. Because you know what? He's facilitating more, which he should be.
Exactly. When you have an all-star level superstar player like Paul George on your team, yeah, you should be facilitating a little bit more. I agree. I absolutely agree with you 100%. But here's a dark horse candidate that nobody thinks about. Nobody even talks about. Nikola Jokic. On the Denver Nuggets. Now, I'm going to tell you why I say that. Most people will be like, wait, who? Nikola Jokic? This dude is a center. He is a triple-double threat every time he walks onto that court. The Denver Nuggets right now are the second seed in the West. Mm-hmm. Their coach, Mike Malone, is about to coach the All-Star game. Yeah, who? Mike Malone. Not Steve Kerr, not Billy Donovan, not Mike D'Antoni. Mike Malone, the Denver Nuggets coach. You know why? Because Nikola Jokic is going out here, dropping triple-doubles. The Nuggets are shorthanded. They have so many guards. Isaiah Thomas just came back last night. They have so many guards. They have so many injuries. And Jokic is a center, dropping triple-doubles every single night. No one's talking about him.
Well, I'll tell you what. With the amount of great players in the NBA this year. Like, the field is stacked.
The field's stacked.
With top-of-the-line MVP caliber players.
Oh, they're going to have to cut this down to 3 come April, and it's going to be impossible.
Considering the fact that Jokic is only 23 years old.
He'll get one. He's going to get one in the future.
He'll have a very long, prosperous career, and I would not be surprised if he wins.
He's got to keep it up, though.
At least one MVP.
He's got to keep it up, though.
In the course of his career, considering he is averaging 20 points, 10 rebounds, and 7 assists.
He's a center, everyone. This man is a center.
And by the way, I brought up a list of players who have won the Defensive Player of the Year and the MVP in the same season.
Name them.
Ready for this list?
Go ahead.
Michael Jordan and Hakeem Olajuwon.
Those are 2 of the greatest players of all time.
That's the list.
Those guys have done a lot. I'm not saying Paul George is on their level, but he's played like it this season. He's played like it.
Damn right.
He's not Michael Jordan and Hakeem Olajuwon. Don't misconstrue my words. He's playing like an all-time player this season. He's been a monster.
Yeah.
He's got my vote. I mean, Harden's having this great streak and everything, but
honestly, just pick your poison. Like, they're all solid. It's hard to argue against any of them.
Any of these guys are not poison. These are stars.
You can't disagree. You can't set up an argument and disagreement against any of those guys.
No, you can't. We could have sit here for 3 hours and just told pros and cons of each guy.
You just gotta appreciate it, because right now I think we're in the generation of individual player efforts. Like, we have never had this many amazing players all playing at once. We have so many players who are future MVPs, future Hall of Famers. Like, the talent level in the NBA these days is incredible.
Just look at the All-Star game.
It's incredible.
Look at the All-Star game on Sunday.
We should appreciate this era of basketball while we can.
Yeah.
Because there has never been so many incredible individual performances on a nightly basis.
You think we're kidding? Watch the All-Star game on Sunday.
Every
LeBron,
night,
James Harden, Paul George, Kawhi Leonard, Steph Curry, Klay Thompson, Kevin Durant.
Every night somebody gets a triple-double. Every night somebody scores 40 points. Like,
I would say
this has never... I cannot remember an era in the NBA in which...
offensive basketball.
Maybe like in the 60s.
No, not in the 60s. 60s, you had one guy doing this.
Yeah.
Will Chamberlain.
Yeah, exactly.
You had Will Chamberlain, who was getting 40 and 40.
You have to go back to Chamberlain, the Oscar
Bill
Robertson
Russell
days.
Happy belated birthday, Mr. Russell.
Where individual basketball is at an all-time high.
Oh, yeah, for sure. But right now, these 3 guys are at the top of the list.
Mm-hmm.
They're at the top of the list. But right now, if I had to vote, it's Paul George.
All right.
So
I got Harden just because of outstanding offense.
So one more thing before we wrap up here. Since this is All-Star Weekend, as we're recording this, what is your favorite All-Star Weekend event that is not the actual All-Star game itself?
I could always go for a good dunk contest. Like,
I can too.
I've seen bad dunk contests.
We've seen bad.
But when the good ones roll around,
it's all about having the right guys in it. I'm going to say it's the 3-point shootout.
I appreciate
I'm going to say that, look, I'm going to say the 3-point shootout. I'm going to tell you why. Because when a guy gets going on those racks, just shot after shot starts going in.
We don't even need to drop names. We already know. The viewers already know what we're talking about here.
Hey, everybody, both Currys are going to be in the 3-point shootout this year. Not one, both of them.
I don't think Clay's in it this year, is he?
Clay's not in it this year.
He's taking 9 years.
Don't sleep on Clay.
He's a Hall of Famer.
Don't do that. Don't sleep on him. But he's not in it this year. But Steph Curry is. The other Curry is Seth Curry. Damian Lillard is in it. I forget who else is in it. I don't have it in front of me. Who needs it in front of me? It's late at night. I said that like 100 times, but literally it is. But yeah, Clay's not in it this year, but the 3-point shootout this year is fun. The skills challenge is even kind of fun.
Skills challenge, I can mess with.
Because usually they put big men in it, and then they put guards in it.
Jokic gonna be in this? I think he is in the skills challenge.
Jokic was in it the one year.
He was last year, I believe.
Yeah, it's funny when they put a big guy against the guard.
Porzingis was in it, I think.
Yeah, before he got hurt.
Right.
But it's always fun when they put a big guy against the guard.
Right.
And the big guy wins.
I think that's how...
Wasn't it the one year it was like big guys against guards?
Yeah.
And then like the big guys won and they were all like excited and happy and stuff.
Right.
That was funny as hell.
No, but I can appreciate a good splash in 3-point contest.
I
participated in a 3-point contest once in high school.
No, you did not.
Yeah, for Easton. Yeah.
Did you win?
No, I made one.
Did you come close?
No, I made one shot.
You made one shot.
Yeah.
Out of how many?
I don't know. 5 stations, 3 balls each, probably like 15.
I've seen you make more threes than 21.
Yeah, nah, I kind of choked.
Yeah, you choked.
It was a big stage. It was like Rover...
What do you mean it was a big stage?
It was like a weekend event. It was like a Rover...
What, AAG?
Rover Relay or something, maybe?
No, Rover Relay was like in middle school.
That was a whole day. It was something.
You sure it was an AAG? No one's going to know what the hell we're talking about.
I don't even know what AAG stands for. But,
almost anything goes. It was a thing at Easton High School every week, or like near the end of every school year. It was like in April on a Saturday. It was just an all day, all night thing.
It was a fundraiser event. I don't remember the name of it.
Well, why wasn't I invited to this?
It was...
You drove me around every day for senior year. You never invited me to this.
It wasn't senior year.
Oh, was it now?
No.
Oh, well then that's different.
No, it might have been like sophomore year or something.
Oh, well that's freaking different. I still knew you.
There was like pickup games and something. I don't know.
Now I'm mad I wasn't invited to this like a decade later. You got me mad now. You got me heated. I just had a nice 4 hours of work. We just watched basketball for 2 hours, and now you got me angry.
It was like teachers versus students, a pickup game or something.
Oh.
It was
one
like,
of those.
He was in the gym.
One of those.
Highest percentage, the Knicks. Zion Williamson going to the Knicks.
No. He's not going to the Knicks.
I think Zion's going to be the first overall pick.
So of course he won't be the first. What kind of question is that? What are you even asking me? Nah, you are the biggest Duke fan in the history of the earth.
I was just confirming.
What did you think? If I had said no, you probably would have thrown me out of a window.
I didn't know if you were going to drop a Cam Reddish on me or something.
He's good.
RJ
I like watching him. RJ Barrett's clutch. They just came back from what, 30,000 points down? It wasn't 30,000 points. It was like, what, 25?
It was like 28 points with like 9 minutes left or something stupid like that.
Yeah, they're good.
In Louisville.
Yeah, Zion.
Oh, look, the AAF reached out to Tebow and Kaepernick.
Zion. Oh, wow. Zion. Now we're just. We've just lost our freaking minds. But no, Zion will be the number 1 pick. This isn't even a question. Even if he gets injured right now, if he falls down an elevator shaft, if he's at his dorm right now at Duke, if he walks outside on the street and he gets hit by a car right now, just ends the season, he's done, he's still the number 1 pick.
Literally the textbook definition of a power forward if I've ever seen one.
He could get into a boat right now. That boat could crash Titanic style into an iceberg somewhere. His corpse will go number 1. They will draft his corpse and log it out there into the court weekend at Bernie style.
Roll it out there.
Yeah, just roll it out there. His corpse will probably drop like 20 a game. Come on, son. Of course he's the number 1 pick.
The man lives vicariously through all of us.
Why? Because we don't dead basketballs. Did you see him dead a basketball?
That was something else, right?
You can't do that. What do you mean he lives vicariously through us?
No, I think
that's the other way around.
We all wish to be a little bit like him.
We all wish to dent basketballs. That's what we wish. We all wish to dent basketballs and be 6'7", 290
just a
pounds.
Massive man.
Miss dunks. Just be very big.
Probably bench press my car.
Instagram. Bench press your car. Your car. The jalopy car, maybe. Not your current car.
Maybe the Sunbird.
The jalopy car, he could absolutely bench press.
We're just going on a tangent now. We can just wrap this up.
Oh, yeah, we're going to wrap this up.
Yeah, so whenever we have something to talk about, we'll talk about it.
Which will probably be...
We'll break out this mic.
Well, we'll break out the mic. We're going to have other people involved.
Have roundtable discussions.
There will be roundtable discussions. There is a SpongeBob 20-year anniversary podcast that's coming up later in the spring.
Oh, dang.
That's going to be crazy. That might get stupid. That might get drunk. Who the hell knows? But that's coming.
I could just rant about anything, really. Just give me a topic and I'll just go off about it.
Yeah, but you don't have this mic. I do.
You have the mic, so I need to have it. And I have the laptop, so.
Yeah, you bring this laptop and we can party.
So that's how it works.
Well,
so next time we'll bring Avery around.
Oh, will we? Are we gonna have him?
I'm sure whenever he shows up, I'm sure we're gonna have one of these. But
sure.
No. It's good. It's good.
Oh, it's good.
Good start. Good start.
It's a good start.
Could write a couple things down you want to talk about, but
it's a good start.
It's a thing, We'll see where this goes.
It'll go to hell. That's where it's going to go.
Probably.
He's gonna go to hell, and we're gonna be saying hi to the devil eventually.
Yeah, that's
not the New Jersey Devil's devil, just the devil.
Yeah,
just that guy.
All right, so we'll just wrap this up, and
bye bye, y'all.
Till the next time, whatever. There's no.
Who the hell knows?
It's literally all.
Who the hell knows? We're gonna be doing this at 3 a.m. one time. Who the frick knows?
All right, I'll wrap it up.
Bye.